So this is just a video on the fly. Baby is on me and I'm walking down the street. We went to the beach this morning. If I don't knack it, it's because I am. We just spent a week in hospital. He had an asthma attack. And you know what? One of the mothers in the neighbour group, her reaction, she really speaks what she's thinking. So after it happened, and she, I just sent her WhatsApp what happened, which was that her breathing difficulties Thursday night, went to the regular ward Thursday night, Friday night, went to intensive care, and then we were discharged after a week in hospital in total. And she wrote me, what a nightmare. And you know what? It wasn't a nightmare. Partly because I realised I'm much stronger than I realised. Since he was born, I realised how strong I am. And basically the moment he was smiling again, I was so happy. It actually did me a lot of good in a way, not that I'm happy that it happened, but I was so caught up in all of my worries and so caught up in all of my stories, and I'm also addicted to my phone, so it helped me. I came off coffee, came off the phone, came off worrying about other stuff, and believe me, there's stuff going on to worry about where I live in this neck of the woods. But all he needed was my presence, which I gave him, and then he got better, and I was just so happy. And maybe philosophically it's not great to be have your happiness so dependent on an external thing. But this is motherhood in a way, and children are a joy. And about that, I just was sitting at the beach today, getting him some fresh air, and I was looking at all of the toned male bodies all around on the beach, as one has, and it just struck me what a con it's been growing up in this culture. I was so afraid. I'm sure it's not just my culture, it's also my environment. I had such a deep-seated fear to do with sex and motherhood that now it just seems so weird. The whole birth experience taught me just because you're really afraid of something, it doesn't mean it's true. I was so afraid that it's kind of embarrassing to admit. So the only reason I'm admitting it is because I surely cannot be the only one. I'm influenced by the same culture as everyone else. But I thought I would be unsexy after birth. I thought motherhood was unsexy. At the same time, I realised when I was sitting there with him, looking at these chiseled bodies, what is it? Okay, my basic feeling was, as I sat there on the beach, was that we've been brainwashed to think. I think it's not so much brainwashed, but physiologically washed, that our bodily maternal instincts are thrown into libido and sexuality. That's my feeling. Obviously it could just be me. Personally, and this is because I've been with him for the first year, I find motherhood a very physical experience. It's also how I choose to mother. He's physically on me. I'm physically next to him. I want him to be securely attached, so for me it's important. And that's where I see motherhood. Not everyone sees it the same way. And it was just a feeling I had that like you have energy, and energy can be, he's looking at me, he's gorgeous, I'm not going to show you on the screen, but he's just beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we're just going to pause the video till this is over. Stop staring at me, so I think we're okay for now. I just feel like some of the very strong, some of the very strong libidic desires that I had then, it was my body clock, obviously, but I didn't feel it as my body clock. Hi, gorgeous. I didn't feel it as my body clock. I was, I felt it as, the cosmopolitan model. I'm a strong embodied woman, and then sex and motherhood was like in a dichotomy. So sex and motherhood don't go together. I had a very strong libido after the birth, which was a complete surprise to me. Very strong. I thought that you're meant to lose your figure. I didn't lose my figure. You're meant to lose your figure when you become a mother. You're meant to complain about it for like months and months. Oh, my stomach. And you're meant to be frumpy and unattractive to men. And I was afraid of women who said that they lose interest in sex and lose interest in men. I'm not disinterested in men, but I'm a lot more open to a relationship with work than before, because I am less. I'm trying to find the way to say it that wouldn't convince my previous self that she was right. There was one conversation I had like years ago after when I was in Thailand. I went to see this female witch doctor, and it was after a breakup, and she made some comments about you're 39, your whole body is screaming for a child, and it kind of like, it sort of woke me up a bit, and that was in connection, I think, to libido or the relationship breakup or whatever it was. It's like a lack of acknowledgement. There is acknowledgement, but the only acknowledgement is you're wretched, you're in your late 30s and you're not going to get a man now, you've missed the boat. It's all very negative. All of the positivity towards femininity is, in my view, is towards the sexualization, and the positivity and the femininity towards motherhood is not there. And by the way, there might be some religious people saying, oh, well, if you're religious, blah, blah, blah. Well, firstly, I have a traditional background. But in my experience, it's not so with the religiousness, because they're so judgmental about sexuality, and they're just so judgy. So I suppose that what I'm saying is from an individualist society outlook, which is where I've come from, basically, isn't it? Let's face it. I've grown up in a community, I've been active in communities, but we live in an individualistic, capitalist society. And in that society, that's what I'm saying. I think motherhood and sexualization are seen as being in opposition, and they're not. Anyway, it's possible, quite possible, I'm reinventing the wheel, but I just wanted to give that take, and just to let me know, at least to let me know my younger self, that you don't lose it just because you become a mother, and that I do believe, when people do, sorry about the background noise, when people work on themselves spiritually and they work to transform themselves, they are essentially transmuting energy. And so I do think that the culture transmutes the energy of our desire and connection to motherhood into some kind of monstrous sexualization. And that I think I was repressing a lot of even though I was very aware of it, I was still repressing the urges towards motherhood and having a child when I was experiencing strong libidic energies. Because it is very weird. Ask any woman who's gone through fertility issues for years and years and years to be making this effort not to get pregnant, and then you can't get pregnant. It's just bizarre. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Have a good day. Bye.